Welcome to Vacuum Wars, and to our review of the Dyson Digital Slim Cordless Vacuum. This is a new cordless vacuum from Dyson, which is more lightweight and compact than their traditional models. We bought one and have been testing it in various ways over the past few weeks, and I've been really impressed. Even though it might not have quite as much power, features, or battery life as the more expensive Dysons, I think that in many ways it might be preferable to the other Dysons because of how easy it is to use. It's not for everyone, but I think that those that it is for will really like it. So, links in the description, and let's get started. The Dyson Digital Slim sells for about the same as the Dyson V8, so it's basically a budget Dyson cordless vacuum, significantly less expensive than the flagships like the Gen 5 Detect. It comes with one cleaner head, the redesigned Motorbar, which is a combo head good for both hard floors and carpets. It comes with two basic attachments, a dusting brush/upholstery tool and a crevice tool, but it also has a wall-mounted charging dock. Starting off with the pros, and we've got to go straight to its lightweight design. Dyson says it's a third the size of their traditional cordless vacuums, but it's actually more significant if you just consider the handle weight, which is where you notice the weight difference the most, where the Digital Slim is almost 40% lighter than the V15 or Gen 5, and it's a night and day difference in terms of user experience. Not only does it feel feather light when vacuuming hard floors and carpets, but using it in handheld mode is a complete game changer. I'm not really a fan of using top-of-the-line Dysons like the V15 or Gen 5 in handheld mode, let alone their outsize models, which is borderline ridiculous in my opinion. But with the Digital Slim, with its smaller battery and dustbin, it makes it a genuinely useful tool if you want to use it for handheld tasks for a long period of time. And though it only comes with two attachments, they are high quality, and it does use the standard size of attachments from Dyson, so you have a lot of options if you want to buy more attachments separately. Another pro is its suction power. We measured its sealed suction at 90 inches on max power, which is significantly higher than average. And while that's not quite as high as the flagship Dysons, it is higher than the similarly priced V8, and by a large amount. The Digital Slim comes with Dyson's newly designed Motorbar Head, which is an upgrade from previous generations. It was able to pick up a pretty good range of debris types and sizes on both hard floors and carpets, and its pickup scores were on par with even the best Dysons. I also tested if it would pick up heavy debris like sand on its lower power setting, and it could do this, which is not the case with cheaper cordless vacuums or cheaper upright vacuums for that matter. So all in all, it was great at its main job of vacuuming floors. It also has an anti-hair tangle feature, which uses little plastic combs in the brush head housing, which detangle the brush roller as you vacuum. And it did excellent with this in both our 7-inch and 14-inch hair tests. And I think that Dyson has one of the best anti-hair wrap systems in the business right now. Another big pro is its filtration system. It uses a HEPA filter and a completely sealed system which traps all the dust in the vacuum. And it passed our fog test with flying colors. It's a must-have feature in my opinion, and most cheaper cordless vacuums fail this test. It has 3 different power settings, a low, medium, and max power, which you can select using the raised button on the LCD screen. It also has one of my favorite features, which is real-time digital battery life display, where it will show you an estimate of the remaining battery life in minutes and seconds, which changes depending on the power level and attachment that you're using. The final pro I'll mention is that it's well built. It has the solid construction that you expect from Dyson and lots of parts availability and customer support from one of the best-selling and most trusted brands. Before I move on to the cons, I'll talk about some things that are just kind of average with the Dyson Digital Slim. For example, though its sealed suction was super high, its airflow on max power was right at the average amount. Same thing with the crevice test and unsealed suction test, where the numbers were average or slightly below average. Nothing too concerning, and those numbers are on par with vacuums in its price range. Moving on to the cons, where most of the negatives are a direct result of it being so compact. For example, it has a significantly lower than average dustbin capacity at only 378 milliliters, one of the smallest dustbins I've seen. It functions well, and it was easy to empty just like the high-end Dysons, but it was small. Its battery was also pretty small. This is good if you want to keep the weight down, but it does cause some limitations. Dyson says it can get 40 minutes on low power with no attachments. But with the head attached, the run times would look more like this: 35 minutes on low power, 25 minutes for medium power, and 8 minutes for max power. I think medium power is a good all-around power setting to use if you're trying to decide if this will work for your situation. At the end of the day, the Dyson Digital Slim is for people with smaller houses or apartments, or people who just need a lightweight vacuum. And if that's you, I think the Digital Slim is an amazing buy and a good value. Links in the description, and be sure to subscribe to Vacuum Wars before you leave. Thanks for watching. All of the links in the description are updated regularly to reflect our current favorite vacuums in multiple categories. You'll also find links to the Vacuum Wars website in the description, where we have more detailed lists of our favorite products, like our new top 20 robot vacuums list, which is updated weekly.